Beamy, 49F, parked in a giant East Coast sprawl outside Philly director-level brand strategy at some ancient textbook publisher that still thinks it's 1998, spent my whole 20s and 30s clawing for a seat at the grown-ups table, genuinely believe a person is basically their brain power, and whatever's on their business card, married to Mark. 51, M, Mark's A, C, PA, quiet guy, soft voice, allergic to conflict. The supportive partner I told everyone I wanted translation. He folds clothes, nods along, and never pushes back on my takes. I run the house, I run the money, I run the social stuff. If I'm honest, I run Mark too. We've got one kid. My son Tyler had him when I was 30. Right after my first big promotion, positive test pops up and my brain immediately opens a spreadsheet. He wasn't just a baby. He was a long-term project plan, wanted to raise the antidote to toxic masculinity. No toy guns, no violent games, no boys will be boys. Wrestling around the living room, his nursery was all beige and sage and calming neutrals. Wooden puzzles, flashcards, stacks of books about empathy and self-awareness. My dream was a scholar type, an artist, a diplomat. Some future guy in a corner office making decisions that move markets didn't want him getting calluses. Wanted him building a portfolio. Reality shows up and punches my plan in the mouth. Tyler turns 8. I buy him a chemistry kit and a beginner violin because I'm still trying to steer the ship. He barely touches either one. Instead, he becomes obsessed with the vacuum cleaner, not vacuuming, studying it like it's a dead frog in biology class. Come home one random Tuesday and my living room looks like a crime scene. Our fancy miele is exploded into 100 pieces on the rug. Screws everywhere, motor guts out in the open. I feel my soul leave my body. Tyler, that was a $700 machine. What the hell is wrong with you? He's covered in dust bunnies and greasy fingerprints, holding a screwdriver, like he just pulled a sword from a stone. Looks up at me with these big, bright, curious eyes, like I'm the one being weird. It was making this whining noise. Mom, I fixed it. I don't hear fixed it. I hear destroyed, expensive property. I see mess. I see chaos. I see my kid choosing grime over books. I go full management mode, lecture him for like an hour straight about respect and boundaries and not tearing apart things we own, hit him with the line. I actually believed we pay people to fix stuff, Tyler. We don't do it ourselves. You're wasting your potential. Mark tries to jump in, gentle as always. Hun, he actually put it back together. It runs smoother now. I turn and give Mark a look that could frost glass. It's not about the vacuum, Mark. It's about the mindset. I don't want him thinking his value is in his hands. His value is in his head. Mark retreats back to his laptop like a turtle. Tyler disappears to his room. I toss the screwdriver into the junk drawer. Then I literally lock the drawer because apparently I'm insane. Middle school hits, and the gap gets wider. Tyler's a physical kid, broad shoulders for his age, heavy hands. Always moving, sitting still in class looks like torture for him. He's smart though, aces math and physics tests. Like it's nothing, but he refuses to do the busy work assignments. I'm always getting called into the principal's office, half defending him, half apologizing for him, all mortified. Then the car ride home turns into my personal TED Talk. Why is this a C in English? You talk fine at home. He stares out the window like he's trying to teleport away. It was an essay about feelings, Mom. It's dumb. Feelings aren't dumb, Tyler. Emotional labor is literally the currency of the future. He just rolls his eyes, puts his headphones on, and shuts the door without saying a word. Then he starts running with the wrong crowd. Not criminals, not drugs, worse, the shop kids. Boys who wear Carhartt jackets like it's formal wear, talk about engines and tools like it's a religion. I hate them on sight. They stomp mud into my entryway. They smell like stale tobacco and motor oil. They look like my childhood nightmares about regressing. I ban them from the house. Tell Tyler my favorite corporate quote, like it's scripture. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Do you want to be a mechanic or do you want to be a CEO? He looks at me, deadpan, zero fear. Mechanics keep the CEO's car running, Mom. If they don't fix it, the CEO doesn't get to work. Don't get smart with me. I fire back immediately. CEOs can just buy another car. Mechanics can't buy a new back when they're 40 and wrecked. I thought I was teaching ambition. Turns out I was teaching resentment. with a nice vocabulary. High school, junior year, everything becomes a pressure cooker. I hire a private college counselor, expensive, polished, always smiling, name's Brenda, charges like she's a surgeon. We map out his whole trajectory liberal arts schools, up in the Northeast, small classes majors like poli-sci, sociology, environmental law, places that produce thought leaders. Tyler sits through these meetings like a hostage staring out the window at the parking lot. The whole time, Brenda does her cheerful consultant voice. Tyler, what are your passions? He finally speaks up, flat tone. I like seeing how things are built. Structural strength, load bearing, that kind of stuff. I jump in immediately because I can't help myself. He means architecture. He wants to be an architect. Tyler goes quiet. Doesn't correct me, doesn't agree either, just silent. Brenda nods like I solved a puzzle. Architecture is wonderful. Long path, lots of theory, very prestigious. Tyler just lets out this slow, tired sigh. That summer he gets a job and doesn't tell me. I find out the dumbest way possible. He walks in around 6:30 p.m. wearing a hard hat and smelling like fresh lumber, working for some local general contractor, hauling boards, cleaning sites, whatever they tell him. I almost pass out in my kitchen. You're quitting that job. Immediately. And for the first time in his entire life, he just says no. No hesitation, no bargaining, just no. I'm stunned he keeps going, like he's been practicing this speech. I like it. I like being outside. I like being tired when the day's done. And the money's actually real. I do my little disgusted laugh. It's basically minimum wage, Tyler. They're working you like a dog. He hits me with numbers like he knows it'll annoy me. It's $21 an hour to start, Mom. And I'm learning how to frame a wall. I whip around to Mark like he's my last ally. Back me up here. Mark looks at Tyler, then looks at me. Doesn't do the usual obedient nod, just shrugs, calm as ever. It's good for him, Aaron. Exercise, structure, keeps him out of trouble. And that's the moment I realize I'm getting outvoted in my own house. Feel betrayed on every side. At once spend that whole summer doing the passive-aggressive Olympics every time Tyler comes home soaked in sweat and sawdust. I make a big dramatic show of grabbing the air freshener spray like I'm fumigating a motel room. You smell like sweat and cheap lumber. Go shower before you touch anything. Say it loud enough for Mark to hear from his office. I treat his work clothes like they're contaminated. Pick them up with 2 fingers, bag them, wash them separately like hazmat. I want him to feel dirty, want the shame to sink in, want him to realize this life is beneath him. He never even argues, just showers, inhales food like a starving wolf, and passes out. And the worst part, he looks happy, like genuinely lighter, and that makes me furious in a way. I can't explain without sounding insane. Senior year rolls around applications. I basically fill out most of them myself. Common app open on my laptop, like it's my job. One night he walks into the kitchen while I'm on my second glass of Cabernet, doesn't say much, just drops a pamphlet on the island like he's placing evidence on a table, Northridge Technical College. I actually laugh, not a cute laugh, a sharp, ugly bark. Is this a joke? He doesn't blink. They've got a 2-year track, HVAC, commercial electrical, plumbing certs. They place you into an apprenticeship automatically. I can be making 6 figures in like 4 years with no debt. I shove the pamphlet off the counter like it's a cockroach. It flutters to the floor. Tyler, look at me. Look at this house. Look at the life you have. Do you think we got here by unclogging toilets? He gets that calm tone that drives me nuts. It's not just toilets, Mom. It's infrastructure. It's important. It's service. And there it is. The word that makes my skin crawl. Service. I slam my hand on the granite hard enough that the wine glass wobbles. Service work is for people who didn't have your opportunities. People would kill for your safety net, and you want to throw it away to be some grunt on a job site. He tightens his jaw. I'm not a grunt. It's skilled labor. It's honest. It's real. It's dirty, I spit back. It breaks your body. By 50, you'll be half deaf, hunched over, and stuck around idiots who think reading makes you weak. Is that what you want? He goes quiet, face red, ears red. Then he says it. Low and precise. I'd rather be around them than your work friends. At least they don't smile at you and knife you the second you turn around. That one actually lands. It stings in a way I wasn't ready for. I push my chair back and stand up like I'm in a boardroom. Here's the deal. I'm your mother. I control the finances. If you go to that trade school, you pay for it yourself. You live somewhere else. I'm not subsidizing mediocrity. He stares at me like he can't believe I just said that word, mediocrity. Yes, I snap. Wasting a brain like yours on manual labor is mediocrity. It's a sin against your potential. Mark is in the corner at the sink, doing dishes like he's trying to become invisible. Tyler looks over at him. Dad. Mark stops scrubbing. Looks at Tyler, looks at me, sees the fire in my eyes, then looks down like a coward. Listen to your mother, buddy. She knows that world better than we do. Get the degree. You can tinker later. Tyler's face just drops like a switch flipped, total defeat. He bends down, picks the pamphlet off the floor, walks to the trash can, dunks. It doesn't even slam anything, just throws it away, like it never mattered. Fine. I'll go to state. I feel this rush of victory hit my chest, like I just pulled him back from a cliff. I pour another glass of wine, raise it to nobody, to his future. Don't even notice, he doesn't say goodnight. Freshman year, start State University Business Administration, major because it's versatile. I set him up like I'm furnishing a model apartment, nicest dorm. I can get him into new laptop, new clothes, meal plan, upgraded, send him care packages, like he's deployed text him every day. How are classes? Are you rushing? Have you met any professors? Networking is everything. His replies are one-word dead fish. Fine, okay, busy, first semester grades, post 2.0. Something G, PA, barely above drowning. I drive up there to intervene, take him to lunch off campus. He looks pale, softer eyes, tired, like he hasn't slept right in months. I keep my voice calm, like I'm coaching an employee. Tyler, you have to apply yourself. This is the foundation of your life. He stares at his fries like they personally offended him. I hate it, Mom. I hate sitting in lecture halls listening to people who've never done anything explain how things work. It's all theory. I do the whole speech, the one I've given myself 1,000 times. Theory is how you understand the world. You do the grunt work so you can earn the corner office. He looks up and says it, flat. I'd rather do real grunt work. My stomach drops. Stop it. We're past that. We finish lunch. I drive home thinking, I got through to him. Spring semester starts and he basically disappears. I call, he doesn't pick up. I leave voicemails, nothing I email. No reply, so I do the thing I shouldn't do. I check his bank account, I still had access. See charges that make 0 cents. O'Reilly. Auto parts Lowe's, some local lumber yard, hardware store, receipts, like he's renovating something, confused as hell. Why is my son buying 2x4s while living in a dorm room? May hits finals week. I get a letter from the university in the mail. Official envelope, my heart starts pounding before I even open it. Academic probation. Notice then another page, withdrawal confirmation. He dropped out months ago. Didn't tell us, didn't tell anyone. I scream so loud, the dog bolts under the couch. I call his phone straight to voicemail. I call again, voicemail. Mark comes home, sees the paper in my hand, reads it, goes white. He quit, I say, voice shaking. He threw it all away. Like 10 minutes later, the front door opens. Tyler walks in, carrying a duffel bag and a metal toolbox. He looks different, tired, yeah, but sharper, somehow. Like he's been living in the real world while we were playing. Pretend he doesn't even let me start. I'm done, Mom. Don't yell. I'm just done. I explode anyway. You are ungrateful. You were spoiled. Do you have any idea how much money you just burned? He doesn't flinch. I'll pay you back. Every cent, I laugh. Mean, with what money? Your little contractor money? He nods once. Yeah. With that, my mouth moves before my brain catches up. Not under this roof. I told you the rules. I'm bluffing, mostly waiting for him to panic, waiting for him to beg, waiting for him to admit he needs me. He doesn't blink, just says, calm as a cashier. Okay, figured you'd say that, turns toward the door, and something in me spikes. Tyler, if you walk out that door, you're on your own. No insurance, no phone plan, no car payments, nothing. He nods again, like he already did the math. I know. The car's in your name anyway. Keys are on the table. He sets the key fob down, like it's nothing, like it doesn't mean freedom or loss or anything. Then he walks out. Mark starts to move like he's going to chase him. I grab Mark's arm hard. No! Let him go. He needs to learn. Tell myself he'll come crawling back in a month, because pride doesn't buy groceries. We stand there watching through the window. Tyler walks down the driveway, doesn't look back, gets into a beat-up rusted pickup, already idling at the curb, and it pulls away like he'd been planning it all along. Someone else was driving that truck. Tyler didn't even glance back at the house. That was 5 years ago. 5 years of pure silence, year one. I sit there waiting for the call, like an idiot. It never comes. I start doom-scrolling his social media, like it's a job. He nukes his Facebook, his Instagram, goes private. Mark tries to call him, goes straight to, "This number is no longer in service." Tyler changed his number. Of course he did. I start lying to my friends to save face. Tell them he's taking time in Europe doing the whole find himself thing. Sounds expensive and trendy. They all do that. Polite rich people nod. Oh wow, that's amazing. Travel is such an education. Meanwhile, I'm boiling alive. Inside I feel like I failed, like I lost control of my own kid. But I can't admit that. So I wrap it in anger and call it standards. Fine, if he wants to be a laborer, let him get crushed by it. Let him struggle. Let reality teach him what I couldn't. Year 3, my career starts slipping in a way I can't strategize, out of publishing, is dying, bleeding out, slowly. Everything is digital. Now subscriptions, algorithms. It's engagement, whatever buzzword they're worshiping this quarter. I'm 52. Now my whole changemaker bio suddenly reads like a museum placard. New hires show up 25-year-old girls who can code, who speak in metrics and dashboards like it's their native language. They look at me like I'm a rotary phone, my salary is high, my work is traditional, and nobody says it out loud. But I can feel the math happening. I start getting quietly left off. Email chains invited to fewer strategy sessions. The meetings I do get invited to, I'm suddenly not leading. I'm contributing. Stress eats me from the inside out. My jaw's always tight, my chest always buzzing. I come home and the house is literally falling apart, like the universe is mocking me. The back deck is rotting, boards soft under your feet. Master bathroom faucet won't stop dripping. Drip, 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 night after night, like a tiny little countdown clock. Mark tries to fix it because he's a CPA and thinks YouTube makes you a tradesman. He floods the vanity, soaks the cabinet, turns the whole thing into a swollen sponge. Now we have to hire a plumber. Guy shows up in a dusty van, charges $210 an hour. Like he's a surgeon. I treat him like hired help because I'm stressed and petty and I hate myself. I hover, watch every move. Please don't scratch the tile. He doesn't even look at me. Just fixes it in 20 minutes, flat hands me the bill. I write the check with this shaky hand. I pretend it's just caffeine, and I hate him for a reason. I can't say out loud because my brain goes, what if he knows Tyler? What if my son is out there fixing some other judgmental mother's sink right now? Year 5, the real crisis hits. Rumors start floating around the office about a buyout. Not even rumors. More like a smell in the air. Our building is this old historic tower downtown, beautiful on postcards, crumbling in reality. Management neglected it for years. Elevators die weekly. AC works when it feels like it. Pipes groan like the place is haunted. New investors start sniffing around, and I know what happens in a buyout. They cut redundant leadership, and I'm a very expensive line item. I need to be indispensable. I throw myself into a new campaign like it's a life raft, working 60-plus hour weeks, living on vending machine pretzels and stale protein bars. My clothes fit tighter, my face looks older, I feel heavy and tired and replaceable. Then the AC dies mid-July, like 97 degrees outside, humidity thick enough to chew. Our floor turns into a greenhouse, windows don't open. Everyone's sweating through their shirts, makeup melting, ties loosened, people fanning themselves with folders. Productivity just collapses. The CEO loses his mind, get it fixed. I don't care what it costs. Building management says it's a catastrophic failure. Main cooling tower is done, needs a full retrofit. Weeks of work, so we're basically doing corporate America inside a sauna. I'm on a Zoom call trying to pitch a client, sweat running down my temple, trying to wipe it off without looking like a nervous wreck. Client squints at the camera. "Are you okay, Aaron? You look really flushed." Humiliating. Next day, the contractors show up, and it's like a war zone moved into our hallway. Cranes outside, crews everywhere. Plastic sheeting taped over carpet, dust in the air, hammer drills, saws, shouting, the whole building vibrating. I'm trying to focus on a spreadsheet, and a drill starts going through concrete right behind my head, like it's in my skull. I yelp, slam my laptop shut, storm into the hallway. "Excuse me?" I see some guy in a yellow vest carrying a bundle of conduit. "Can you people keep it down? We're trying to run a business here." He stops. Looks at me through safety glasses like I'm a stray cat. "Structural retrofit, ma'am. We're drilling concrete. It's going to be loud." "Then do it at night," I snap, like that's a reasonable request. He doesn't even hesitate. Union rules, crew work 6 to 2, and he keeps walking like I'm background noise. I'm shaking with rage. I go to the break room to splash water on my face. Need 5 seconds to not scream at strangers. Sink is taped off. Big sign, out of order, mainline repair. I just stand there staring at it like it personally betrayed me. My eyes burn. I almost cry, which makes me angrier. Then I notice boots sticking out from under the sink. Cabinet work. Boots, Red Wings, worn in, but expensive good leather. Not the cheap stuff. Half the crew is wearing. Someone's under there, deep in the cabinet. I can smell that sharp, weird metal scent. Ozone, flux, something hot. I tap my heel on the floor because I refuse to crouch. "Hello? How long is this sink going to be down?" "I need water." Voice from inside, muffled, finishing the joint. "Give me 2 minutes." And that voice hits me right in the gut. Deep calm, familiar in a way that makes my brain glitch. The guy slides out on his back, sits up, pushes his welding mask up, pulls off a respirator, shakes his hair out. Like he's done this 1,000 times. It's Tyler time, just stops. The drills fade into background noise. I'm staring like I'm watching a ghost. Stand up, he's huge now, filled out thick forearms, shoulders like a door frame, beard trimmed close, not scruffy, just intentional gray t-shirt soaked in sweat. But he doesn't look gross. He looks capable, powerful, like he belongs exactly where he's standing. Muscles shift in his arms as he sets the torch down. He looks at me with cool, steady eyes. No fear, no anger, just unbothered. "Hello?" "Mother," not mom, mother. I make this stupid little gasp and grab my chest like I'm in a soap opera. "Tyler, you work here?" My eyes flick down to his vest. No big company logo, just a stitched name patch T. Spencer, and below that, Foreman. My brain catches on the word like a hook. Foreman? He nods like it's nothing. "Yeah, running the plumbing crew on the retrofit." I feel this wave roll through me. Nausea and something else. Shame, pride, hatred. I can't even sort it. It's just a mess. "You're fixing the sink." He gives me this small look, almost amused. "I'm fixing the main riser. The sink is just access." Then he stands up and he towers over me. He used to slouch like he wanted to disappear. Now he stands like he owns the space, wipes his hands on a rag, and asks, casual as if we text every day, "How have you been?" "You look tired." The audacity of it. I can't stop myself. I'm working myself to death, Tyler, trying to keep my department alive. And this noise is ruining everything. He just nods, calm as a stone. Construction's messy. Progress usually is. I hear myself get sharp again, like my mouth is on autopilot. "So this is it. You're a plumber. You crawl under sinks for a living." And I can feel the old script sliding back into place like a loaded gun. I want to hurt him for walking out on me. Want to shrink him back down so I can feel tall again. So I go for the old weapon dismissal. "So you're really doing this? You're really under sinks for a living." I expect a flinch a shame face, anything he doesn't give me, that he just smirks. Like I said something adorable. I solve problems. Water doesn't move uphill. Then he hits me with the calmest knife possible. "Physics doesn't care about your job title, Aaron," and I swear it's like he's talking to a toddler. "If my guys don't do this, your building's basically unlivable." "You're welcome." He checks his watch like I'm a meeting. He's late for, "I gotta check the crew on 12. "Nice seeing you." He grabs his gear mask, torch, bag. The whole kit walks out. Doesn't ask how Mark is. Doesn't ask about the house. Doesn't ask to come back. Just dismisses me, like I'm a vendor who tried to upsell him. I stand there by a taped-off sink, absolutely vibrating. He thinks he's so clever. He thinks he won in my head. I start trying to put the world back in order. Fine, he's still a laborer. I'm still the executive grime versus suit hands versus head. The hierarchy is supposed to be real, so I go back to my office and do what I do. Best research, I search his name, search the company, search the patch I saw on his vest. Not much comes up. Some generic LinkedIn profile that says project lead, Apex Mechanical, no fancy bio, no articles, no awards, no think pieces. Just a couple boring bullet points. I tell myself, it's perfect. That's his ceiling, a mid-level guy in a big machine, sweating in basements while I'm in meetings. I sit back in my chair and force myself to feel relieved. Order restored 3 months later. Late September, retrofit's finished. AC hums like a dream. Our floor is finally cold again, and it doesn't matter because the business is dying. Anyway, the buyout happens, private equity comes in like a swarm of locusts with spreadsheets, and it's a 2-for-1 punch. They're acquiring the building and the publishing company. Same money, same deal, rumors detonate through the office, they're gutting staff. They're turning the tower into luxury lofts. Everyone's replaceable, everyone's terrified. The CEO calls an all hands, says the new ownership group is touring to assess assets, which is rich person code for decide what to sell and what to kill. We're told to look sharp, be impressive, prove we're worth keeping as tenants. I dress like I'm going to war power suit, bright blazer heels that hurt but make me taller, pearls because I'm still clinging to symbols. I walk into the conference room with my spine straight and my jaw locked, glass walls, city view, perfect corporate aquarium. The CEO is sweating through his shirt, lawyers file in first suits, briefcases. Shark eyes, no smiles. They take seats like they own them already. Then the principal walks in last navy suit. That's obviously custom no, tie top button, open shoulders stretching the fabric, like it's fighting to contain him, beard trimmed, even sharper than before, tablet in his hand, like it's an extension of his arm. He looks up, locks eyes with me, and my brain just stutters. It's Tyler. I literally stumble, grab the back of a chair to steady myself. Like I'm 80, the CEO rushes forward, full salesman mode. Mr. Spencer, welcome. We're honored to have you touring the facility, Mr. Spencer. Tyler nods, once shakes the CEO's hand. Firm doesn't even look at the handshake, just dominates it. Thanks, Bob. Let's not waste time. CEO does that nervous laugh like he doesn't know if it's a joke. Tyler keeps going like he's reading a report. I know this building inside out. My crews have been in the walls for months. The CEO blinks. Your crews? Tyler tilts his tablet toward one of the lawyers, like it's the most normal thing in the world. I own Apex Mechanical. We did the retrofit. The room goes dead. No coughs, no shifting. It's like someone sucked the oxygen out. My head is misfiring because my brain can handle, he works for the contractor. It cannot handle, he owns the contractor. Tyler keeps talking, calm, clinical. I like the bones of this place. So when I heard the note was distressed, I bought it. Silence, absolute vacuum. It hits me in layers. He didn't just fix the A. See, he owns the company that fixed it, and now he owns the building. Tyler finally looks at me again, and there's a tiny curve at the corner of his mouth. Hello again, Aaron. The CEO turns toward me, confused. You know, mister. Spencer? I can't speak. My mouth is dry like sandpaper. Tyler answers for me, without even asking permission. She's a tenant. We have history. He walks to the window, taps the glass with one knuckle. Single pane, terrible insulation. You're bleeding efficiency through here. He turns back to the room and starts dismantling our future like he's rearranging furniture. This floor plan is obsolete. Too many cubicles, too many private offices blocking the light. We're gutting this level, open concept, tech incubators, flex space. The CEO goes pale. Gut it? But our lease, my team. Tyler scrolls on his tablet like he's checking weather. Lease ends in 28 days. We're not renewing. CEO's voice cracks. You can't just... Tyler doesn't raise his voice. Doesn't need to. Publishing is volatile. I want stable tenants. Tech. biotech, green energy. That's where the money is. Then he looks straight at me like he's doing it for the audience. You can't build the future on old foundations. Sometimes you tear it down and start clean. And then, like a final twist of the blade, right, mother? The word hangs there, sticky heavy. Every head in the room turns toward me. I can feel heat rushing up my neck. Shame, hot and liquid, crawling under my skin. He just evicted me in front of my boss, in front of my department, and he used mother like a stamp. Not love power, he's the landlord, I'm the problem tenant. I manage a whisper, Tyler. He doesn't soften, doesn't even pretend. It's business, not personal. You taught me that. And then the coldest little corporate smile, your feelings don't cover overhead. Rent does. He turns to his lawyer, like, I'm not even there. Send them the vacate notice. They're out by the 15th. Then he walks out, doesn't look back. The suits follow him like obedient shadows, and I'm left standing in a glass conference room, watching my career get repossessed by the kid I spent years calling beneath me. 2 weeks later, I'm packing my office into cardboard boxes like a laid-off intern files books awards that suddenly look like plastic toys. I find an old photo buried in a drawer, Tyler at 8 before the vacuum incident, round cheeks, huge eyes, little hands holding a science kit. I bought him, I stare at it too long, and I start crying. Not because I miss him, not because I'm heartbroken, because I was wrong, and I hate being wrong more than I love anything. I carry my box down to the parking garage, heels clicking, eyes burning, trying not to lose it in public. There's a group of construction guys on break near the ramp, laughing coffee cups, dust on their pants. One kid is barely out of high school, maybe 19, covered in drywall powder, like he got snowed on. He sees me wiping my face, tips his hard hat like he's being polite. Have a good one, ma'am. And the way he says it, the way he looks at me for half a second, I see Tyler in him, and my mouth starts forming. The old command, go to college, don't do this, be more. And I stop myself, mid-thought, because right behind them is a truck, big logo on the door, Apex Mechanical, and there's a hiring poster slapped on the side panel. Starting pay, $36 per hour. Benefits, pension, apprenticeship. Track. My throat tightens. I get into my Audi. The lease payment, I can't justify anymore. I sit there with the keys in my hand, feeling stupidly small. Drive home on autopilot. House is quiet when I walk in. Too quiet. Mark's out back. I step onto the deck and it creaks under me like it's about to give up. Mark is sitting in a lawn chair, staring at the rotting boards like he's watching a funeral. I don't even ease into it. I got fired. Mark nods, doesn't look surprised. Then he says something that drops the floor out from under me. I heard. Tyler called me. My head snaps up. He called you? Mark finally looks at me, tired eyes, sad eyes. The eyes of someone who watched a slow disaster for years. Yeah. He calls every Sunday. Has for a long time. My stomach just falls like an elevator. Cable snapped. You knew? You knew where he was? You knew he was doing well? Mark shrugs, soft. I knew he was happy. That was enough for me. I feel nauseous again. Why didn't you tell me? Mark doesn't get defensive, doesn't fight, just says it plain. He asked me not to. Said you wouldn't respect it until you had to. I choke on the words. He owns the building, Mark. He's a millionaire. He runs a whole operation. Mark gives the smallest shrug, like I told him the sky is blue. He's good at what he does. Best I've ever seen. Then he adds, like he's trying to be kind, and accidentally makes it worse. He's always been like that. I sink into the chair next to him. The wood groans ominously under my weight. I stare down at my hands, manicured, soft, spotless. Then I look at the deck, rotting, splintering. Unstable, I think about all the times I banned tools and dirt, like they were diseases. I say it out loud without meaning to. I wouldn't let him do dirty work. Mark nods once. Yeah, you didn't. Then he reaches into a cooler and hands me a beer. Cheap domestic in a cold. Can I take it? Crack it open. It tastes bitter. It tastes like reality. We sit there as the sun drops behind the trees, and I just watch the shadows crawl across a deck. My son could have fixed it in an afternoon, while somewhere downtown, he owns the whole damn tower.